Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we're going to do a writing check. We have some IELTS academic writing task 2, so let's check it out. As always, we start by reading the question and we want to read the question carefully. Okay, so some children spend hours every day on their smartphones. Why is this the case, and do you think this is a positive or negative development? Great. So nice and easy structure. The structure is there for us. We'll have the introduction, in which we will give some general background information about the topic. We will also address the question, and also we will state our position. We will mention what we're going to write about, and we will also say whether we think it's a positive or negative development. Paragraph 1, body paragraph 1, why is this the case? So body paragraph 1, we will talk about the reasons why some children spend hours every day on their smartphones, and in body paragraph number 2, this is where we will say whether it is a positive or a negative development, and then we'll have some conclusion with a summary of the main ideas and maybe some reflective comment. But okay, so the structure should be quite straightforward. Just looking at the task first of all, first thing I notice is that it's very long. This is far over the 250 words allowed. Let's just check. I'm guessing 400 words. Word count. 414 words. So this is the first thing that candidates, when they're preparing, first thing candidates should be controlling is the amount of words that they write. If the task says write at least 250 words and you are writing 414 words, you know that there is a problem, and that is a problem that you should fix. Of course, at least 250 words, I'd say 300 is okay. 320 may be acceptable. If I had a student who was writing 350 words, I would immediately tell them, okay, we have a problem, we need to fix this, we need to get it down. So my ceiling is usually 300. That's what I aim to write for. If you have 414 words, it's too many. You won't have time. You won't have time to simply do this. Anyway. Okay, so let's see what we get. So since the arrival of new technologies in our everyday life, it's a little bit vague. New technologies, that's so broad. You know, writing is a technology. So we need to be more specific here. Since the arrival of new technologies in our everyday life, and then children. So little bit of a disconnect, but okay. Children are getting used to stay a lot of time. Getting used to stay. How can you stay a lot of time? I don't know about this collocation, to stay a lot of time. There's also a grammar mistake there with get used to. We use get used to doing something, not get used to do something. But okay, children are getting used to stay a lot of time. Maybe children are spending a lot of time, maybe. Looking at their smartphones. Okay, children can easily be attracted by some features available on their smartphones. Okay, we know, which can make them addicted to them. It's a little bit simplistic, the cause and effect of addiction there, but okay. Absolutely is it's spelt incorrectly, but it's also kind of emotive language. This heavy maximalist language generally is avoided. Sometimes, like undoubtedly, maybe that's an adverb that could be used, but I absolutely think grammatically, it's strange to use absolutely with think, but also it seems a little bit emotive for an academic text. I absolutely think that it is a problem that needs to be addressed as quickly as possible. Okay. In the first part of this essay, we will see why children spend so much time on their smartphones, and finally we will emphasize why it's a problem. I don't know if emphasize is the right word here. You're going to explain why it's a problem. You're going to explore why it's a problem. You're going to discuss why it's a problem, but I don't know about emphasize why it's a problem. It seems like a strange word choice. But okay, the introduction, we get some background about the information. not perfectly academic in style, but we also know the candidate's position and what they're going to talk about. Okay, so let's see now, why is this the case? Can the candidate accurately explain why so many children nowadays spend hours on their smartphones? Let me turn on my light. Sorry about that. Oh, that's better. Okay, so firstly, the first reason. I mean, come on, candidate, surely you can see this, right? Firstly, the first reason. You can just start it with the first reason if you want. Or firstly, children spend a lot of time on their phones because... So firstly, the first reason just sounds strange. Firstly, the first reason that explains why children spend too much time... Too much time or so much time? Okay, too much time is okay then. Too much time on their phones is the fact that... The fact that is great. I don't know. Sometimes it's okay in academic writing, but I'm not always sure about the fact that. Is the fact that they can become... Okay, the reason why they spend time on their phones is that they can become addicted to them. Maybe because they are addicted to them, but that's kind of saying the same thing, right? Spending too much time on your phone and being addicted to your phone, that's kind of the same thing. We're looking for the reasons why children become addicted, or the reasons why children spend so much time. So that seems like a little bit of a circular argument, right? The reason so many people drink alcohol is because they are addicted to it. Okay, but what are the reasons why people become addicted? You know, stress and so on. Okay. For example, I can clearly remember that when I was... Okay, I know in the title, in the question, it says give reasons for your answer, include any relevant experiences from your own knowledge or experience. Okay, but too much personal stuff can be a negative thing. But anyway, for example, I can clearly remember that when I was younger, I could easily stay multiple hours in a row. Again, stay in front of my phone. I don't know what that means to stay. Sit, maybe? But okay. Because I could not stop playing. You have to catch your typos also. Like, of course, there will be grammar mistakes, there will be spelling mistakes, that's normal, but there's no reason why there should be a typo. There's no reason why there should be a typo in your work. You have to find time at the end to check and find these typos. Stop playing a video game. Video game should be 2 words. Okay. And I did not realize it. Okay, I'm not convinced that this is a strong argument why children spend too much time on their phones, only they get addicted, and I remember that I spent a lot of time on video games. Okay. Furthermore, good signposting language. Cool. Furthermore, another reason and furthermore is kind of like saying the same thing, right? So we could delete all of this. Furthermore, some parents do not put time restrictions. So furthermore, another reason, we don't need all of that stuff. So we could just delete that completely. Some parents do not put any time restrictions. Any is better in the negative. Do not put any time restrictions on. So you put time restrictions on someone. You don't put time restrictions to someone. Okay. For example, if a child has only 2 hours of time screen, I think they mean screen time. Per day. Why he? Children are not always male. Some children are female. So I'm not sure why he here. He will not only be able... Okay, for example, if a child has only 2 hours of screen time per day, he will not be able to use it more, while a child that has no time limits can use it as long as likes to. Can't drop the subject here as long as he or they... But yeah, so this paragraph on the whole, in terms of its communicative achievement, I'm not impressed by the communicative achievement. I kind of understand the candidate's main idea, but it's really poorly developed and not very well explained, and certainly not academic in style. But okay, let's get to the next paragraph where we talk about whether this is a positive or negative development. The candidate has already said that it's a negative development, so we should see some reasons why the candidate believes it's a negative development here. Secondly, it's not secondly, because you're not doing so. If the question is like, is this a positive or negative development, and you say it's a negative development, firstly, it's a negative development because blah 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 blah. Secondly, it's a negative development because blah 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 blah. In this type of essay, it is not a firstly, secondly. So this is firstly and secondly here is not good signposting language. It's confusing. This is not the essay. This is not the essay question where we need firstly, secondly. But okay, secondly, I firmly believe. So a little bit personal, or this is personal language. I firmly believe in body paragraphs. I don't want to see personal language. I want to see the candidate making a case for why it's a negative thing, rather than expressing that it's their opinion. So I want to see an argument presented, explained, developed, supported with examples, not personal language. But okay. That it is an important problem. An important problem? That seems strange to me. An important problem. Maybe a serious problem, a severe problem, a significant problem, maybe. But important problem sounds just a little bit strange. And that it can become dangerous if this does not change. So a lot of signposting language, a lot of reference language, which is a little bit unclear. It can become dangerous if this does not change. The problem can become dangerous if the problem does not change. Maybe it's okay. Oh, I don't know why that's in green. Sorry about that. Okay. It can lead, again, we get this okay, it can lead to noxious consequences. Okay, but tell me, present your argument. Tell me what the consequences are earlier. We don't want to say it can be bad. It can be really bad. Oh, it's really serious. Tell me what the negative side is early. But okay, because children could lose their communication skills. So put that early, right? So instead of secondly, I firmly believe, you could say one major downside of children spending too much time on their smartphones is that it can lead to a breakdown in their communication skills. Cool. And then we have that topic sentence, the first sentence of the paragraph telling me what this paragraph is about. Okay, for example, but that's a good point. It could lose their communication skills. I think lose is a little bit strong in terms of academic language. Maybe it could diminish their communication skills, or it could lower their communication skills, or it could negatively affect their communication skills. But it seems a bit strange to say they would lose their communication skills. So lose is a little bit strong here. For example, if a child stays a lot of time, again, we get this overuse of stays, misused now 3 times, stays a lot of time on his phone. Again, why he? Why he? Is it only men? Is it only males who spend time on their phone? Seems odd for me. He will not have a lot of conversations with his friends. Again, he. But I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Is it if a child stays a lot of time on his phone, he will not have a lot of conversations with his friends or his family? Again, he. Certainly a lot of people use their phones to have conversations with their friends and their family, right? People use WhatsApp, people use Telegram, people play video games together, and they communicate with people. So not sure if this is a fair argument. And in the future, this lack of communication may make, so may is hedging language, that's good, that's not too strong, that's the type of language we want, may make him, but again, why always he, a worst speaker. Worst is the superlative, so a worse, not the worst, but a worse speaker. I don't know if that's justified, but let's see. Because he will not be used to communicate, will not be used to communicating. So we have a grammar error. with other persons. Plural of person is people. Maybe in academic language, persons maybe is accepted. I don't like it. In addition to that, it is also an enormous waste of time for the children. For example, instead of looking at their phones, they could learn something new, like practicing a new sport. Okay, that's a fair point. It's an additional point at the end. It's a clear point. It's not well explained, but if you only have one paragraph to talk about negative consequences, it's okay not to develop that too much. So this one, that's fair. I think that's reasonably well explained and fair. The first argument that they will lose all of their communication skills or they'll become a worse speaker, I don't think that's really well explained. But the second part, that it's a waste of time, okay, not so bad. All right. So to conclude, we get a summary of the ideas. To conclude, there are multiple reasons that can explain why children use so much their phones. So strange word order here: use their phones so much, not use so much their phones. So odd word order, like the fact that they can easily become addicted to them, and the fact that here their parents do not put some restrictions on their screen time. I do think that it is a problem that requires a solution quickly, because this can lead to a lack of communication skills in the future, and especially a huge waste of time. Okay, so a good job of summarizing. The candidate has used the conclusion well to summarize the main ideas. Let's give some marks for this. Okay. So, task response. How fully informed am I? I think I'm reasonably informed. So, I won't put any comments. I'm reasonably informed. I know a couple of reasons why the candidate thinks that children are spend too much time on their smartphones. They get addicted and parents don't help them. But I don't think the position is really academically developed. And yeah, so I also know why it's a bad thing. They'll lose their communication skills, and also it's a waste of time that they could spend doing something else. So I'm reasonably well informed, but I don't think the positions are really developed or supported or explained with any sophistication. Okay, coherence and cohesion. So there is some slightly weird. Paragraphing is fine, right? The paragraphing is good, but I don't like this firstly. Secondly, I find that's an odd way to set this up. To conclude is fine. We get some for examples. We get a lot of the fact that to link clauses together, a little bit overuse of that. We get some basic markers like because, fine. We get some conditional, which helps with cohesion with if. More, for example, we get some furthermore, but then furthermore plus another with some irrelevant thing. So cohesive devices are okay. There is a normal, logical, natural flow to the writing. So I'm between the 6 and the 7 with this. Let's just see if we can award the 7. Now, maybe. Just a moment. In the first part of the essay. Yeah, I'm going to go with the 6 for the coherence and cohesion. Lexical resource. So we get some. I don't think we can award the 7 just because we have so many strange collocations, right? Especially with stay a lot of time on your phone. I also don't like the non-academic language like absolutely and I firmly believe in the bodies. So I don't feel like that's really good academic style. And there's some things like spelling mistakes, typos like play on and video game as one word. Not a big deal. But all of these things come together as evidence to say why it's not quite a 7. Important problem could be something like a serious problem or a severe problem would be better. little bit maximalist, like lose their communication skills. But in general, the candidate does show that they have enough vocab to talk about problems of spending time on smartphones. Bit of topic specific language, I guess. Screen time is mixed up, but okay. Video game is written as one word, but okay. In front of my phone, good. Communication skills as a collocation, fine. So enough vocab, but not great. All sixes so far. Grammatical range and accuracy. So problems with this get used to should be get used to doing, not get used to do. Do we get back-to-back correct sentences here? So no. Can easily be attracted. Good. We have some passive modals. We get comma which is nice. Yeah, we do get some back-to-back grammatically accurate sentences. Nice variety of sentence, complex and simple sentences. How about the range of grammar? So we do get a lot of present simple, of course. Attempts to use present continuous here. Not quite sure about whether that's accurate, though. We have some modality and some passive, so that's good. Can we just get needs to be addressed? Good. We get another passive infinitive there to be addressed. Cool. When I was younger, past time, I could easily. We get a past modal. Could easily stay. Cool. Using adverbs. So there is a nice, decent range of modality. Also may. I think there probably is enough to award the 7 for grammatical range and accuracy here. So, of course, it doesn't affect the score. Overall, the candidate gets the score of 6.25. So upper intermediate. And any advice for the candidate? Well, the first piece of advice is shorten your writing. If it's 400 and something words, that's really too many words. Secondly, understand the different question types, right? When we have a two-part question, why is this the case? And do you think this is a positive or negative development? We don't start with firstly, secondly. In some essays, we do firstly, secondly. What are the advantages and disadvantages? You say, what are the, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing, as one question. I think it's a good thing, and then firstly, secondly, So there are different question types in IELTS Task 2, and the question type can determine how we start paragraphs. Thirdly, put the important information in the paragraphs, in the body paragraphs towards the front. We have something we call a topic sentence. So after reading the first sentence of the paragraph, I want to know what that paragraph is about. And when I hear something like secondly, I firmly believe that it is an important problem and that it can become dangerous if this does not change, I don't know what the problem is. I want you to start with one of the main problems is that children could lose their communication skills, right? Push that towards the front. There are some grammar mistakes. Be careful with typos, of course. Grammar mistake, I wouldn't worry too much about grammar. Academic style could be an important thing to work on. Avoid using overly personal language and certainly avoid using too simplistic arguments. Learn about what tentative language is. Like instead of saying it will definitely happen, we could use something like it is highly likely that this will happen, or it is possible that this will happen, or this may happen. We tend to use that more tentative language in academic style. But okay, not a bad attempt. Not a bad attempt overall. Candidate is solid, 6.25. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that writing check. If you have your own writing, you'd like me to check it, please do feel free to send it to me. And also, if you'd like a free practice speaking test, please do get in touch with me. Information on how to contact me is given below. At the moment, I can't guarantee that everyone who requests a writing check or a speaking check will get one. but I have X amount of time each week, and if you want me to check it, if you don't get in touch with me, you definitely won't get a check, but if you do get in touch with me, you might get a check. So it's worth getting in touch anyway. All right, I'll stop talking there now. Thank you very much, and bye bye.